The IndyCar series put on a great race tonight for the Bommarrito Automotive Group 500 at World Wide Technology Raceway at Gateway. What a race it was. With that, let's recap the race. The start of the race was furious from all the drivers as they were battling for position. Marcus Ericsson would spin out in the opening lap, causing a yellow flag. In this race, tires were an issue, as well as going offline and into the marbles would send you straight into the wall, and that's what happened on lap 54. Will Power would crash out. Later in the race, Scott Dixon would have issues with his radiator, which would eventually take him out of the race. There were a lot of battles throughout the first half of the race. Santino Ferrucci and James Hinchcliffe would battle for the lead. A lot of these strategies were mixed up because of the cautions. Another caution was brought out with Marcus Ericsson again. This time he just scraped the wall. After the restart, Spencer Pigot would crash out after trying to pass Charlie Kimball. Again, going off the racing line is an issue, and the marbles struck again and took out Sebastian Bourdais. Throughout the middle stint of this race, Santino Ferrucci would continue to lead a lot of laps he did. With the strategies throughout this race and in this final stint, Takuma Sato would find himself in the lead along with Tony Kanaan and Ed Carpenter. In the final stint, the top championship competitors like Newgarden, Pagenaud, and Rossi would meander mid-pack and struggle with their cars throughout this race. During the final laps of the race, Joseph Newgarden would continue to battle mid-pack to stay ahead of Alexander Rossi. After the cycle of pit stops, Santino Ferrucci would find himself mid-pack as well, but with Santino Ferrucci, he would be one of the fastest drivers out there on track. He tried this gutsy move against Ed Carpenter. With that, Ed Carpenter was strong too. As the laps winded down, he would manage to get past Tony Kanaan and make his way to the gearbox of Takuma Sato. In the final two laps of the race, we'd see Ed Carpenter and Takuma Sato go at it for the win. Where it wasn't enough as Takuma Sato holds off Ed Carpenter in this close finish for the win. Also in the final lap, Santino Ferrucci would go up into the marbles again, trying to make his way back down to the racing line, where Newgarden was coming up pretty fast. To avoid hitting him, Newgarden would spin out. In the final lap, Joseph Newgarden would lose a lot of positions, eventually finishing 7th in the race. The final results of the race are Takuma Sato 1st, Ed Carpenter 2nd, and Tony Kanaan 3rd. Now, here are the point standings after 15 races of the 17 races of the NTT IndyCar Series season for 2019. There has been a shakeup in the point standings where Simon Pagenaud is now second in the championship over Alexander Rossi. Despite finishing 7th today in the race, Joseph Newgarden still leads in the championship by 38 points over Simon Pagenaud. This was the final oval race of the season for the 2019 IndyCar Series. The next race in the 2019 NTT IndyCar Series is the penultimate one, and it takes place at Portland International Raceway. With 2 races to go, can Joseph Newgarden continue to hold these other drivers back to maintain the championship at the end of the season? Or can Simon Pagenaud or Alexander Rossi pull out a win in these last 2 races to beat Joseph Newgarden for the championship? We'll have to wait and see. That is my recap of the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at World Wide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and until the next race.